Coming up today on Retirement Made Simple, we're talking about retirement for business owners. When you own your own business, so much more of the responsibility of retirement planning is on your plate. Today, we'll see how we can make that huge task feel a little more manageable by focusing on strategies to help business owners prepare to exit their businesses and enter retirement. Retirement Made Simple starts right now.
This is Retirement Made Simple with E.A. Buck. E.A. Buck focuses on finances, preservation, and retirement. Led by Chief Executive Officer Katie Buck and Chief Investment Officer Jeff Buck, E.A. Buck helps you grow and preserve what you've worked a lifetime to build. Each week, Katie and Jeff help you tackle some of the biggest challenges in retirement, including retirement planning, retirement taxes, wealth management, Social Security, and navigating federal benefits. Welcome to Retirement Made Simple.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm Amy Sharp, here with Jeff Buck, Chief Investment Officer, and John Ingraham, Private Wealth Manager. This show is all for business owners looking to transition from entrepreneurs to retirees. And I know a lot goes into this. So once again, I welcome back Jeff and John. Are you guys ready for this conversation? Because I think a lot of our listeners' ears are probably perked up a little bit as they themselves may be going through this. And there's a lot to think about, isn't there?
Absolutely. I mean, there's millions of self-employed individuals out there or small business owners. So let's have a conversation that will hopefully help a few.
Let's do it. Okay. Investopedia states, as a small business owner, you are completely responsible for your own retirement planning. If you have employees, you may feel responsible for helping them plan for a confident retirement. So let's begin. How can these small business owners prepare for retirement? There is so much to think about, isn't there, John?
There is. So one of the things you want to think of the end and what you're going to do to build a business that can operate without you. Okay, that's really the whole idea. The only way I know to do that in the businesses that I've been in over the years is you attract and retain the right type of people. They are going to need some kind of plan as well. And the way they're treated is going to retain them, and they're going to take care of your clients. So that's one of the first things I always try to do when I meet with a business owner and put a plan together. What are we going to do to help you with your number one asset, and that's your employees? Second thing is go ahead and put those actions in play. I think Jeff's going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you can do, but I really like this segment because I think Jeff will do that in the next segment.
Okay.
Thank you.
One of the challenges for people who own or work for a small business is that lack of the employer-sponsored retirement account, 401k. It's just not there. Let's talk about the options, though, for retirement savings for people who don't work for, say, a big corporation. What does that look like, Jeff?
Yeah, Amy, I like to break that down into kind of two thoughts. One is the individual that runs a small business. Maybe they put the last 20 years into that business. They've dedicated their time and their resources, and that business is now successful. And they're wanting to make sure that they catch up and they do some planning for themselves as they move into their 50s or 60s, approaching retirement. And in that case, it might be that they're looking at setting up something like a solo 401k, where they can contribute maybe a bit more than they could if they just had a simple IRA. Or maybe they just need to set up a SEP IRA because they have high income, they want to keep things straightforward, and they want to be able to put some money away pre-tax. The other option for those with significant income, small business owner, maybe they don't have any employees or very many employees, they might want to look at a defined benefit plan and the ability to actually carve out up to a few $100,000 a year to contribute pre-tax to their own retirement. It's pretty neat to actually say that because a lot of people don't even know that those types of plans exist and that they're available to them. On the other spectrum, what about the employer that's got a business or starting a business like John was talking about, and they're really focused on wanting to take care of their staff and the people around them? And in that case, it might be that they want to set up a 401k plan. Maybe it is just a simple IRA or a SEP IRA, or it could be that they're wanting to set up a pooled employer plan, which is a newer form of essentially something similar to a 401k. But for many, they may find that that's actually more cost effective than setting up a traditional 401k plan.
As with all retirees, business owners, small business owners, have to think about things like where they want to live, what their lifestyle would be like, and that plays into what that plan, what that need for that income looks like too.
Yeah, so to leverage off what Jeff said, if you've got the right staff in play and you've done the things that you needed for them, and you've thought a little bit about what you're going to do for the rest of your life, then this is the way I would think about it, okay? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? What's that going to look like? How much money is it going to take for you to do that? What type of tax environment would you like to live on, okay, or live in? Those are things that I think about with my business owners, and we put the plan together. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Let's get after this thing. Let's have a plan and get a second opinion if you need to on that plan. Okay, once you've got that dog on the track, it's going to hunt the right way. So that's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing.
Yeah, I would just add that as two successful business owners, we understand how important our people are. The people that work within the organization, that's really where we have to invest our resources to ensure that they create an environment that is productive for themselves, productive for the rest of the organization, and ultimately adding value for whatever line of business that they're in, whether it's finance like us, whether it's manufacturing. So whatever that is, if we know that our people are our most important resource, why would we not want to invest into our people and create a very productive, conducive environment of happy employees that hopefully see the benefits of what the company is providing? And that's where it's about sitting down, having a conversation with the financial planner, understanding what those options are. And if it's one or two people you're trying to take care of versus 100 or 200 that you're trying to take care of, well, it's just a matter of understanding what you can do and what would make the most sense and what's feasible financially to be able to support.
I think what a great value that is at EA Buck for you, your team, to be able to sit down with clients and say, we understand. We know where you're coming from.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, we've got more to come. Don't go away. We've talked problems. Up next, we talk possible strategies to help alleviate them. And later, Jeff and John are in the hot seat for Retirement IQ. Stay tuned.
Planning for retirement can be complicated. Helping create income that lasts, making sure your health care is covered, investing while managing risk, and don't forget about taxes. If you're overwhelmed, you're not alone. The good news is we have what you need to give you confidence to start planning for your ideal retirement, all in one convenient resource. You'll get answers to some of your biggest retirement questions in this easy-to-understand, practical resource. And best of all, there's no cost to you. Take the first step toward a confident retirement and get yours today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
I'm here with Jeff Buck and John Ingraham of EA Buck Financial Services. We're talking today about what it might look like for someone who owns their own business when it comes to retirement. There is a lot to think about. One thing we haven't really even brought up yet, and this is a big one, is the need that these small business owners have in creating an exit strategy. I've heard this phrase a lot. Many people might not be familiar with what that means.
Yeah, it's a great point. I'd say it comes back to a succession plan. What do you plan to do with your business? In some cases, it's basically the goal is just to run your business until you decide no longer to run it and you just assume it's worthless at that time. The other is that you're running that business and maybe you have a family and kids and you want them to take it over. And then the third is that you're looking for an exit strategy of which you'd sell the practice. And in that case, I'd say getting evaluation would be extremely important, and that you'd look to evaluate it maybe through 3 different appraisals so that you have a really good understanding as to what the value of that company is truly worth.
Okay, you brought up appraisal. That is another step small business owners have to go through, is that appraisal process. What do we need to keep in mind for that step?
Yeah, so again, I've been through it with some of my business owners. I've given them the advice on it, but I think what you want to do is what's the real value of your business and get a good real price. That's going to have a lot to do with the accounting and how you've kept track of the accounting and how you've built that business. If you've built it to exit, it's going to be just fine. And we talked about that in the last segment where you retain, right?
No.
You attract and retain the right type of people. That business should run well without you. Exactly, right?
Absolutely.
So the exit strategy has all those pieces, and you need to sit down with someone that's been through it, that helps other people through that. Get an expert. You probably have one in your own marketplace, maybe. If not, you can always, get a hold of us, right, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is something that we've done together. It's something that we've done multiple times, and we've helped clients through. And it's something that I got to take part of as I acquired the practice after getting 3 appraisals from my father, just to make sure that it was fairly priced.
Yeah, even family, it doesn't matter,
Absolutely.
right? You got to keep it real. It's important to understand also that if someone has retirement plans, the business owners have gotten maybe on their own. What are the things to keep in mind there too? Because again, they don't have that employer-sponsored account.
Yeah, it's a great point as well. And so I'd say there's a couple of things that overlap there. First of all, if you don't get your business appraised, if you don't have a plan going into your retirement age, then you run the risk that you're in your head overvaluing what the company is truly worth. And that can then leave you stretched as you go into retirement thinking, wait a minute, I thought my asset was worth X, but instead it's just worth Y. Where do I bridge that gap? And that, I think, is all avoidable through what we just talked about. When it comes to retirement plans, well, things to consider would just be age limitations on when you can start distributions. So if you have traditional retirement plans like a 401k or an IRA or a Roth IRA, then it's probably that you're not going to be able to start any distribution from that until you're 59 and a half in most cases. And so therefore, you just want to make sure you don't plan to retire when you're 50 and live off of that 401k plan, because there may be an issue there that you may not be able to overcome, right? The other would be that there could be penalties for distributions on other types of plans. Maybe you put a non-qualified plan together of which you deposited significant amount of your proceeds into a cash value life insurance policy. And that money then grows tax deferred if properly funded. And if properly funded, you can take loans from those policies, and that can all come out tax-free. But you just want to understand what the caveats are and how they work and what the benefits and the cons are of each one of those plans before you blindly jump out there and say, hey, I'm getting out of my profession to now go into being self-employed in retirement, which is the idea of having to self-manage all of your accounts. Might as well work with somebody, in my opinion.
As I think about someone being a small business owner, I've never been one before, but I think about, you tend to probably want to do things your way on your timeline, and your outlook is your outlook. As you've had conversations with your team, is it easy to kind of, nudge people in the direction of, okay, let us guide you, let us be kind of a beacon for you in this journey?
Great question. Do you want to answer that first?
Take it away.
Okay, sounds great.
I just threw it out there. So
no,
whatever.
so I think, I think about prior businesses and 20, 25 years ago, and what you learn from that when you're running a truly small business, when it's 2 or 3 or 4 people. I'd say it's relatively easy when you have the right people that are working with you to all work together. As we've built a business that's now a mid-sized company, it's truly about having a clear vision within the organization and over-communicating that vision and that drive so that we're ensuring we're hiring the right people from the beginning that are part of our culture and part of our belief system as an organization that's built amongst the group. And with that, as long as that's the case, I would say it's not difficult for everybody to buy into where the future is and what we're doing together. And then to have some clarity around what happens if something happens to me. Because I get that question as the chief investment officer responsible for a few $1 billion. People say, what happens to you? Well, don't worry. I built a great team of people around me purposely with the goal that if something did happen to me and I wasn't able to show up to work tomorrow, that the company would be fine, that the clients would be fine, and the same investment advice would be available through our portfolio management. And I think you look at it the same way with your business.
John, not leaving you a lot of time, but we
Yeah.
have just 30 seconds here to kind of wrap up your thoughts on
wrap
that.
up, Jeff says everything right, and we've both been through it. I think I always get a second opinion from a doctor's point. You should probably get a second opinion on your business. You get that evaluation. If it's sick, is it that sick? What do you do about it? What do you do to correct it before you exit? And when you make the decision, make it far enough in advance that you're not under some kind of stress or duration, and you make an emotional decision versus a logical decision.
That's right.
Love that.
Emotions
Yep.
come in, don't they? For sure. Thank you, gentlemen. Great insight as always. Straight ahead, Jeff and John are in the hot seat for Retirement IQ. And later, what are some simple, actionable steps you can take to potentially improve your financial future when it comes to taxes? Jeff and John have your checklist challenge. Stay with us.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
Welcome back, and now it's time to put our knowledge to the test with this week's Retirement IQ. I say our knowledge, I really mean Jeff and John's, but you can play along at home as well. But you guys are in the hot seat, as we say. You ready for this?
Sure am.
Your confidence level doesn't look very good there, Jeff.
That's my second favorite part of the show.
Okay, question number one. Which generation has the highest population in America? And I think this one is going to throw people, because I would have thought a different generation.
Is this directed towards me?
Either one? Jeff?
Okay.
Jeff, this is
Well,
yours.
it's the millennials.
Okay.
Okay, that's who it is. A lot of people think it's the boomers, but there's a lot more millennials right now.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Jeff deferred to you, actually. That was for you, Jeff. But
Oh, wow.
that's
Well, there
okay.
you go. I'd say
That's
it's
all
the
right.
millennials.
He's got a bunch of them.
That's right. The millennials, of course, are born between 1981 and 1996. And this group recently surpassed, which I thought it was baby boomers. I would have answered baby boomers. They just went with an estimated population of just over 72 million baby boomers. Okay. Question number two, true or false? And whoever wants to take this one, we'll just throw it up in the air. According to an AARP survey, 99% of baby boomers travel for fun. That's a big percentage.
I got that one.
You got that one?
That's true. I deal with retirees every day, as you do, and they always want to travel or are traveling. And I ask them, tell me about your doctor's appointments, but more importantly, tell me about your travel. And they've got a bunch of it always planned to do.
Don't they have like 4 to 6 trips a
I
year?
was going
they
to say,
do?
how many do you think they're,
do.
what's the number? The average is like 5, it says.
Wow, okay. There you go.
I'm up for that. I'm
Yep.
looking forward to those years.
There you go.
Okay, question number 3. This is also true or false, actually. The concept of the stock market is older than the Taj Mahal. Jeff, you want to take this one?
Yeah, it seems appropriate. So interestingly enough, in Amsterdam, the market was first created or launched back in the early 1600s.
That's right.
Which was just
1602.
a few, yeah, okay, there you go. And just a few decades before the Taj Mahal construction began.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Exactly. And who would have thought Amsterdam? I mean, out there in the audience, who would have actually thought Amsterdam,
Raise your hand if
the
that's
first
you.
place
Yeah.
in the world that a market would have been created for stocks?
I love these questions. There's always a little bit of little tidbits, little insight there, and you guys are you're on your A game with these questions. I can't stump you. Here's another one. According to Merrill Lynch survey, what percentage of respondents age 65 and up said that staying connected with friends is important to them?
Hey, once again, that's an easy one for Jeff and I because we sit down with these people all the time. About 80% of our retirees want to stay connected with friends. Number one answer.
I can't imagine going through retirement and not having that piece. You know, a lot of times when we are here on this show, we're talking numbers and very important stuff like taxes and inflation, things like that. But that connection piece is something it's priceless, really, when we're talking about money, don't you think?
It is. It is. It's about the people, correct? I mean, most people enjoy being around other people. And what better time to do that than during retirement? So I think we both hear consistently with the clients that we do sit in front of on a regular basis how they're taking trips, but they're not just taking trips with their spouse. They're taking trips with their friends.
Groups, yes.
Yeah, you got it. My father shot me a photo from a cruise in Asia last year or 2 years ago, and and it was a neat photo, but it was him and it was his doctor and a couple other friends that were on that trip, and those are great memories that are being created at a time where you should be creating them in your golden years.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts on our
No,
questions
I
today?
agree with Jeff.
You agree?
We hear it all the time, and if you don't know, we'll help you because they love creating those memories.
Yeah, I think if you don't know how to spend your money, your retirement money, you'll help, right?
No, and I would just say the better thing about that is if you can afford the trip and you should be taking that trip, please take the trip. I do work with a lot of just working class people that have successfully saved over the last few decades to a point where they can afford to retire. And these are people that when they travel, they're always sitting in coach. They're not wanting to spend the money. They're accustomed to saving their whole life, correct? And so helping people move from that saver mentality to a spender mentality is an important part of a financial advisor's job. But if someone can afford to spend the money and they're not going to outlive it, you might as well encourage them to spend a little more and travel in comfort, right?
Do the trip up right. Eat the steak, eat the shrimp.
Yep, fly first class.
First class.
Upgrade your room, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
if you
enjoy
don't-
that money while you can, unless you're strategically leaving it behind for somebody or something that's a cause
Right.
worth
Like John started
deferring.
to say, if you don't,
Yep.
someone...
If you don't, your kids sure will. They'll stay first class. They'll stay in the nicest hotels.
Yeah, so create a balance between
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
What do you need to save and what can you be spending? And I'd say that's a big mistake that a lot of Americans make is they just don't understand where that balance is.
Yeah.
And they either undersave or they oversave.
Yeah.
So where can you find that balance?
All right.
That's
Jeff,
what we're
you
here for.
probably deal with this in your business every day. There's two types of people that we sit down with. And this is the quote. You cannot teach a saver to spend, and you can't teach a spender how to save.
Yeah,
Right?
makes sense.
No.
So we help them with that spending.
Correct. Just coach it through it.
Very good. On that note, we'll move forward. Still to come, you'll learn some of the simple steps that you can take to help you improve your situation, because how useful is knowledge without action? Stay tuned.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
Thanks for joining us today on Retirement Made Simple with Jeff Buck and John Ingraham. And we've certainly had a very important conversation today about all that goes into preparing for retirement, specifically if you are the owner of a small business. Lots to think about. It's exciting as well. As we know, though, knowledge is power, and that's why we do these shows, so that we can really share insight with kind of things that people need to be thinking about.
Yeah, sure. So in the prior segments, we talked about, knowledge is power, Dale Carnegie quote, and every action needs a reaction. It doesn't do any good if you just know it, but don't do anything about it. So that's step one. Know what you're going to do and how you're going to go about it. How do you do that? Well, you get a plan in place, okay? We talked about the recap of getting a plan in place, know what the end's going to look like for you. Okay, that's extremely important. And when you exit, what's that going to look like, that business? Is it going to operate the way you want it to operate? Is it in the hands of the people that you're most fond of? Well, if you built it properly, the answer is yes. You heard that. And then finally, I would sit down with somebody, okay? Just like we spoke about a doctor, I always get a second opinion. Get a second opinion. Sit down with a planner that knows what to do, how to get there. That'll be helpful to you.
Yeah, so I like it. Especially that concept of that second opinion. A lot of people are just like, well, this is how it is. I'm just stuck here. But that's not the case, especially when you have big decisions to make as a small business owner.
I mean, I would recap in the sense of if you're a small business owner, you're approaching retirement, you're 5 to 10 years out from retirement or less, really you want to take action now. Clearly in your head at least, understand where do you see that business in the future if you're not part of it. Do you see it with your friends and family because they're going to take it over? Do you see it as though you're going to close that business because it really doesn't have any residual value? Or there's, maybe it's an industry that doesn't have a future? Or do you see your business as a significant asset? And if so, like John talked about, get the appraisals. Get 3 appraisals. It's worth the little extra money in my opinion. Stick with that middle appraisal so you set yourself with a reasonable expectation, and then look at that plan in the future. When do you want to sell it? Now, if you have some time to catch up and you're wanting to catch up for retirement, now's the time to catch up. Maybe your business is highly profitable, and now's the time where you can afford to put away a significant amount of money personally for yourself, and you want to do so pre-tax. Well, have a conversation around defined benefit plans and how you can potentially put away significantly more than you might think you can pre-tax through investment strategies. Or maybe it's time that you really look at your employees and help them catch up if you're in a place where you can afford to help them do that as well. Maybe you want to look at the plans for them or do something along the lines of what we talked about earlier, the 401k plan or the PEP plan and the opportunities that exist from just a few years ago that were created. So that's what we're here for as a financial planning firm. Yep. It's what we've been doing for decades. It's what we enjoy doing. We get a lot of energy, a lot of excitement out of this.
I feel the passion.
And there's nothing more exciting than giving clarity to somebody, whether it's a small business owner, whether it's an individual that's just trying to create a financial plan for themselves. Creating that financial plan, having that business plan, we see it as one and the same.
All right, thank you so much.
I've never sat down with anybody that didn't want a good plan, Jeff. They want the best outcome, so.
True.
The way that starts is sit down with a planner,
Yep.
get a second opinion.
Exactly.
Right. Great way to end our show. Thank you so much. Great insight as always. Don't hesitate now to act on what you've learned from today's show. For Jeff, John, and the team at EA Buck Financial Services, I'm Amy Sharp. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next time.